Okay, so that's very great. And we would like to continue doing so that immediately after each session, we'll be able to share the recording so that we can reinforce learning. During the last session, we looked at filtering, and we did answer the questions on sales data. And so today we are going to delve into calculated fields. Well, let's take the employee and see if there are things that can strengthen us, or we'll see what we'll be able to, if there are new things that we have not included in our topic for today, and see how we can solve them, because all the case studies that we looked at, the 10 of them, we'll be covering them during this training. So now let's look at employee performance, which is this case study number 2. Before we go into that, I want to find out if there was anyone who experienced challenge during the course of the first case study, sales data analysis, which we completed day before yesterday. Okay, if my hand is on, please go ahead. Your network seems to be breaking, or is it my own? Please, is it my network that is breaking or hers?
So from the first, can I be heard?
I don't know. I can hear you. I don't know if it's from my network or yours. It was breaking, cracking.
Okay, but is it okay now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, sir. So I encountered challenge carrying out the sales data analysis yesterday. The very first illustration we had that day before yesterday on trying to break down the region, on trying to filter the region, okay, sales by region, then running the analysis region by region. But the very first step I took in generating the pivot table, my sales date did not appear in year. It appeared in days as it was originally given to us. So I don't know whether there was anything that was done when you were doing it that made the sales date to be changed into year.
Okay.
And yes, sir. That's my question.
Okay. That's fine.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. You know, the dates, if you have entries like dates, they can actually be grouped. And what we did was to remove the ones that we were not using, because I think by default it was grouped, except if it's my system. So let's take, for instance, okay, let's just create a fresh one. So I'm going to create a new, I hope my screen is visible. Hello, can you all confirm?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. All right, so I'm going to insert a new pivot table, and I'm going to insert it right here. Okay, because there is another one. So you see, these are some of the challenges that I want to guide you again so that you won't be running into uh, this kind of challenges when you are inserting a pivot table. So let me go below and insert it. Okay, so there is nothing obstructing it. So if I carry my sales date and drop it here, if now, can you confirm it's yours like this? Does it come out in dates like this? I mean in years.
No, it doesn't come out in year. It doesn't come out in year. It comes out in days.
In days.
In dates as it was given to us.
Okay. So maybe let's take this opportunity. Is it the same thing for everyone? Can we confirm?
Yes, it is.
It's all in years or in the dates, like this as it is here?
It shows in date, not in years, as it is.
As it is here, okay.
Yes.
Maybe because of some work I have done here. So now let me use this opportunity for us to discuss the grouping using date as an example. Now, you may want to be viewing your data in groups. You know, assume we have a class of 1,000 people. And you say, okay, out of this 1,000, you have grouped them. If you know you belong to, if your age falls within the year 1 to maybe 10 years to 30 years, that's group 1. Then another group will be 31 years to 40. Another group will be 41 to 50, just like that. So you want to group all your items according to their age, so that when you pick out a group, you'll be able to see the characteristics of that group. So this is the same thing that applies. When you group your data according to dates, you can group them in years, you can group them in months, you can group them in days. So how it happens here is, here I have clicked inside and I go to my pivot table. Let's go to pivot table. You come over here, you see there is this group here. So you have the group field on group. So I'm going to click this group field. Because it is date, it shows you these options. You want to group them by this, you want to group them by this. So if you click any one, gradually you are grouping all of them. Now let's just explore how this works. So it means that everything, okay, there is a pivot table, because by the time we expand all this, it's going to expand both left and right, and it may be very, very long. So now let's do the little that we can with this. I can remove these years. So what are selected now? I don't mind a chorus answer.
Months and quarters.
Months,
Months and quarters.
Months and good. So now let's see if we have, okay. So you see that each year now has been disaggregated into what I want. If I look at my group, I say I want to see them in months and quarters. In months and quarters. So what it means is that if I want to look at my sales value, I'm going to view them depending on what your focus is. If you want to view them by month, so for January, in quarter 1, the total is this. And the 3 months that make up the quarter one are January, February, and March. And these are their respective values. If I say I want to go further into the dates, I come over here. I don't want to see month or quarter. I want to see days. Now, let's look at days and months. I have deselected quarters. So once I OK this, it brings out the various months of the years to give me the various details. Nothing has changed, though. It's still the same total. The grand total is 112,803. So if I want further, as okay, what other grouping can we look at? I don't want to look at the months. Let's see what happens if we choose only days. It gives us this. So you see the different days from January 2nd through. Hello? Hello, did anybody say anything? Okay. So this is how grouping happens. Now let's see further. What else can we see in grouping? After days is hours. Let's see if this data originally has hours, it will display them in hours. It does not have in hours, so you can drill down beyond that point. So I don't know how, maybe your own date, maybe your own pivot table area is set at date in terms of the grouping. Now let's see if we can do grouping in another field. Let's bring our sales here. You know, so this sales date. Let's bring our sales amount here. And I can decide to say, can we all look at our sales that are, sorry, we want to group our sales by by 1,000. So every 1,000 you segment. So between 113 to 1,000, if you add 1,000 to 113, because remember here I say group by 1,000. So if it takes 1,000, if it begins to count from 113, and then the next 1,000 will be 113, 112. Then the next one will start from this, and so on and so forth. So if there are other categories that the other items that I wanted to view, the characteristics of this, then I will be able to view this. So this is how you do your grouping in PivotTable. Let's see if we have more examples as we go on to view more about grouping. Okay, so do we have any other question on this before we move forward?
Okay, sir, I have a question.
All right.
Can I be heard? Okay,
Yes,
so
please.
from my question, from my own laptop here, I can't see that grouping.
Where did you place your date?
Sir.
Where did you place your date? Your date. Where did you put it?
My date is in row.
Good. Let me carry this. Like this, right?
Yes.
Confirm. Good.
Yes, sir.
So do you have any other thing?
No, I don't have any other thing.
So you click inside any of these dates, right?
Okay.
Go to pivot table, analyze. Can you see it over here on my right hand side?
On your left, okay, pivot table
The right
analyze.
hand side, the pivot table. Yes, do you have it?
No, I don't have it. Wow. Is it?
Are you sure?
Is it from my
No.
I'm actually using a WPS.
Okay. I don't really know. I don't really know.
I don't also have it, but if you put it on options, it's there. Do you have options?
Okay, that's
Do I have
WPS.
what?
Options.
Yes. What? Sorry.
Hello?
It's WPS I'm using.
Yes, I think someone else is using WPS and he seems to have that solution to that. He said, look for option. Hello, John. Hello, John.
Hello, sir. I can hear you.
Yes, I was trying to call John's attention so that he can clarify.
Okay, group selection.
Hello, yeah, I can hear you,
okay.
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
I've seen it.
Okay, you've seen it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you click inside the date field, any of those the date contents, then look for the group area. You should see it.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
see it?
I should look for what, sir?
This grouping.
Yes, on group and on group.
Yes.
I've actually grouped now. I've grouped into quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3.
So you've seen it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But then there was actually something else you did yesterday that when you click it in this quarter now, we can now see other further breakdowns. You said we should click on
the way it is, right? The way it is here now, you will see plus sign in front of the date, right?
Yes, sir.
So click that plus. It opens up.
Okay.
So you can only open up to date because that is where the grouping is. So if I open up my grouping and select up to quarter or even year, let me select all of them, all the 4, years, quarters, months, and dates, and I okay it, then I will be able to see all of them, the dates, the years.
Okay.
So if I click any of those plus signs, it opens up to the quarter. So I can be drilling down or drilling upwards, depending on my focus. Is that okay now?
Okay, sir.
I hope this discussion, helped every other person. Please, can you all confirm?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm glad that we've been able to clear something that we'll be looking at in future, so that when we get there, it will become a soft landing for us. So now let's look at these other questions. I just want to get yes or no from everyone. How should you begin setting up the pivot table for this analysis? It's easy to go, right? Question 16.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anybody who is going for a no? Okay, nobody says no. Did anybody say no? No. 17. Which option will you select to calculate the average task completion rate instead of the sum? Did anybody try this one? So I want to be sure that if we are going to take a task, it's going to be useful to everyone. Do we go ahead and do this number 17, or we are good to go based on what we have done so far?
No, let's do it.
Okay. So can somebody guide me how to insert a pivot table right now? Okay. So I'm going to insert pivot table over here. Let's use this place. So which option will you select to calculate average task completion rate? So what do we have here? We have completion rate here. So let's assume that we want to completion rate for the departments. So let's bring department to row. And let's take completion rate to this point. So what this is telling us now is IT has a completion rate of 1.45%. Sorry, this is sum. You see, this is sum. It is not actually the rate. So what it's saying is that if you look at the number of tasks completed, now let's take this number of tasks. Where is it? Number of tasks completed. Number of tasks completed. They completed 125 tasks at this rate, 85. So do we have mathematicians in our midst? Anyone, any mathematician? Some of us used to be afraid of mathematics those days. Does this still happen? Pam Seidu?
Yes, it does. Because you know that with this digital era, it is very difficult for you to start cracking your brain. You always
Yes.
look for a simple way to do it.
Okay, so we have a completion rate and the number of tasks completed, and then this is the completion rate. So what do we call this figure now? Assuming, I think this is going to be per rate or per job, or how? I'm just trying to find out how this, let's see, IT. So here we have this, and then here we have this. This is 125 tasks completed at 70 and 75. So I don't know how, that's why I wanted mathematicians to let us know what these are. But using pivot table, let's attempt the question. It said, which option will you select to calculate the average? So right now, we can express this as average instead of sum. Now, let's right-click inside. And then let's say, pivot table. Let's say, pivot table. And then let's say, average. 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 And then let's say, average I'm right-clicking inside this because it is expressed as sum, but we may have to come to summarize as average. The summary that we have is by sum. So let's say by average. And this gives us this. Honestly, I don't know how the sum happens that we have those other figures. That's why I wanted the mathematician to speak to us. But if you have your items summarized by a particular aggregation, you can change it by right-clicking there and summarizing your value by whatever you want. But so by default, numbers that go to value, they yield sum. So, but if we want average, we click here and it gives us the average. So this is how we answer that question 17 by going through the field here. You can also come over here, then come to value field settings. So this is your average. So do you have any other question? Any question on this? Okay, let's look at question number 18. If you need to include only employee with completion rate above 80% in the analysis, what should you use? Can someone make an attempt? Any attempts?
Hello?
Yes, please.
I think you can use the grouping, but I don't know whether I'm right.
Grouping.
Yes.
Okay. What are you going to group?
You will group above 80.
Okay, that's this percentage. Let's see if we bring this here and bring this thing here. And you want to group here. You know, in grouping, you would see all of them, but let's see if we take our department. Again, we want to look at department by department. So let's bring our department here. I think there's a chart. Okay, it's a summation of the percentage and it shifted decimal backward to compensate for the percentage. So Olatuji, is this answer to the question I asked about adding percentages? Or please, we would like you, if you don't mind speaking to us, so I will understand the context of this.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, it's the answer to that question. Yeah, it is the answer to that question. So you just added it, and the addition of the I got the 1.6 or 1.45 for the 1.7.
Yes.
We just added the two, and then it added the individual percentage 75 plus 70, and then compensated for the percentage by shifting it backward.
I'm laughing. Okay, that's interesting. Thank you so much. So let's look at this. We have our our completion rate percentage. Is already giving us is already giving us the sum. Okay, so this what he tried to explain to us. Say for IT, this is 70 and 75 and 70, and that's 145. So he shifted this thing backward by 1. Okay, and then for marketing is 80 and 90, which is 170. Okay, that's why we have this. Okay, then sales is 180 or so, 85 and 95, giving us 180. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Latunji.
Okay.
So we
hello?
want to respond to question 18. If you need to include only employees with a completion rate above 80 in the analysis, what would you use? If we are going to look at filter, we can come over here and look at where's the is it this there's a filter that we can put label filter. Good. Value filter. So we bring in value filter and say, what was the question again? Let's look at the question whether 80% is inclusive or just only above 80. Let's look at it again. If you need to include only employees above 80, so we are going to get above 80 value above as greater than 0.8. Okay, now let's use individual. Let's use individuals as employees. Let's use employees. So we have employees here. We are right-clicking, filtering, and value. So we are going to get greater than 0.8. Greater than 0.8. And then it filters out those ones that do not fall within that range. Remember, this is my percentage. Does it make sense? Hello?
Hello, yes. It makes sense.
It does?
Yes.
Okay. So now let's go to the next question. During the time before we go for the hands-on, practice, we can ask questions, please. So now let's look at the other one. To compare task completion rates across departments using a chart, which will you use? We are going to use a chart across departments. So now let's look at bringing our department here. Does anybody have a clue? Hello?
Yes,
Okay.
hello.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we
Yes.
can see you.
Okay, does anybody have any clue? Okay. Now let's go through. Usually when you don't know the kind of chart to use, you just go for recommended to see if it gives you what you would want to see. Now, a bar chart like this will let you know across the different departments. They will give you the values. Okay. This is one. Let's see if we go for something like this. Does any of this give you comparative visual? So we can just plug in the data labels. And this one also, let's plug in the data labels. So any of these can do. Hello? By just looking, yes, by looking at this, it can help you to compare scores or performances across departments. By looking at these slices, you know the one slice that is bigger. This is 1.7, it seems bigger, followed by this 1.8. Here we have 1.4. If you even a child that does not understand the values, when he sees the sizes, it will let you know that this one is bigger. Okay? So now let's look at the next question. If the pivot table shows the count of employees instead of average completion rate, which setting should you check? If the pivot table shows the count of employees instead of average completion rate. So, well, I'm done with these visuals. That is supposing, number one, if you are, for you to get employee rate or count rather, that means let's get our employees here. This is what they are. This is what the question is asking. If you are getting a count of employee like this, so what setting do you check? If the pivot table shows the count of employees, just like we have here, okay, this is employee names instead of average completion rate. Okay, so it's not this employee that is here, it's the rate. So we bring the rate here and it's giving you the sum. Let's change this thing to count. Okay, so all you need to do is to come to your field setting here, this place that I checked here. This is the place where you check to change what you are summarizing, whether it is sum or count or average. There are several of them there. You check your value field settings. So that's the setting that we need to check. All right. So let's take time to run this analysis the way we have all studied it together. But before then, if there's any question, can someone go ahead and ask? Iris, your hand was up before, or has it been cleared?
No, sir, it hasn't been cleared.
Okay, so go ahead and ask.
I'm trying to remember my question.
Hey, yeah.
Just give me a few minutes. Let someone else
Okay.
can go ahead.
Okay. Well, we are in our practice session now. Let's take 5 minutes to answer these questions on our own, the way we just looked through them. And then if there's any question, we can raise our hand and ask within that time frame. So I'm pausing the recording. Mr. Roy.
Sir, good evening, sir. I'm here.
Yes, I don't seem to have that access to pause it. Pause it, don't stop it.
Okay.
I can just place a space and then it will accept it. However, for role, even though I think it can still accept what was there before, let's say this. So for role, it will still accept the name that was originally there. But for any other one that you place, either in the values, it will not accept it. So, but you can just place um, a space inside what is already existing. All right, so that's just one of those things. I'm waiting for anyone to say there's an issue with that question. Please, we are all working along. Okay, if now your hand is up, go ahead, please.
Okay, so I thought the question says feedback with ratings below 3. But I think
Yes.
what we did is the ones with ratings above 3.
Yes, if you read the question well, you want to exclude. Exclude means
Okay.
anything below, right?
Huge.
Sorry?
I
Hello?
got it now. It's to
Okay.
exclude.
Okay. That's fine. Now, the next question is, how can you visualize the distribution of ratings across different months? Does anybody want to help us? The distribution of ratings across months. We want to visualize it. Anyone?
Yes, please.
Yes, go ahead.
We put feedback at under rules.
Feedback under rules. Feedback what?
Feedback month. Feedback date rather.
Feedback date under rules.
Then rating under values.
Ratings and the values.
Then we go to insert.
Insert.
Then we pick charts, either bar chart or any.
Okay. Which one will you prefer?
Line, let's use line graph.
Great. Which of them?
The first one is okay.
This one, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Does anybody have any contrary view or addition? Okay, I think this is fine, but what we can do is to maybe expand this thing so that we'll see, if we click here, we'll see there are 2 dates in January. If we expand this, we will see there are 2 dates in February, and expand this, we'll see that there are 2 more dates. So there will be 4 points. So there are 2 modifications I will do. You are right, Richard. I appreciate this contribution. I will make the contribution by saying, in my month, I will want to group, do a grouping so that I can have all the dates. So let me remove the date, the month, and bring it this way. That is 1. Secondly, I will choose the line chart that has markers so that I can see the points where each date occurs. Okay, so I can see that 15 January, the rating was 4. Here, the rating was 5. 14 February came down to 4 again, and so on and so forth. Your answer was correct, but this is just an enhancement that I tried to make. And so don't always forget to put your title for the chat. Does anybody have any questions?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah, my hand has been up, but you didn't see it.
Sorry.
On that second question, sir.
Yes.
If you look, I thought the question is looking at feedback and rate.
Yes.
Yes, but we are not actually looking at the feedback. We are looking at rate and customers. On that, maybe I don't know, but
okay. Let me see which of the questions. You say second question.
Yes, yeah, the second question.
If you want to exclude feedback with ratings, is that?
Yes.
Below 3. Okay, which feature will you use? Now you see these ones. This is the rating that has 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Now we have these different dates, and then we have these customers.
Yes.
So these are the individual people that gave this rating.
Okay.
So they are unique. So we want to plot this with this. Then if we look at this also, this may give us the same thing since there is no repetition of date. So this is feedback date. There's no repetition, so it won't add any one. So we just wanted a categorical listing that will give us the unique feedback. So even date, if we had used date also, it will still give us the same thing. We'll come and then eliminate ratings that are less than 3. Or is it different from what you are trying to point us to?
No, you know the way we answered it before. We are not looking. We are just looking at the rate and the name of the customer, and but that question was referring at the feedback and rating.
Okay.
Yes.
So you would have wanted us to use this and this.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yes, it will still give us the same thing because there is no repetition of no date occurring twice. it will give us the same thing. Let's go ahead and look at it. So here, we can come over here, filter values less than greater than 3. So it will still give us the same thing that we got last time. Hello, is that okay, Victor?
That's fine.
Okay, thank you so much. So do we have any problem with this visualization? Okay. Let me see if anybody's hand is still up. Victor, this is old hand, right?
Yeah, that's hold on. Thank you, sir. Sorry.
Okay, okay. Any questions? Let me sample opinions. Priscilla?
Yes, sir. I'm following.
You're following. Good to know. Dr. Beatrice, you just joined us or you've been around? Hello, Dr. Deborah.
Yes, I just joined. I was caught up somewhere. Sorry, I joined late.
So
Thank you.
sorry. All right.
Yes, thank you.
I just hope you will catch up.
I will. I will look at the recording.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
So let me run to Emame Harris.
Yes.
How are we going?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay, right?
Yeah.
Good to know.
Okay.
Habibu.
It's okay over here too. I'm
Right,
following.
great to know.
Yeah.
If Nanya, I want to believe you are following. You asked a question a while ago. Am I speaking your mind, Nanya? Sorry, I didn't get that. I hope I heard that you are doing well. You are doing well, right?
Last illustration I did on the line graph.
Okay, you want the last illustration?
Yes, on the line graph.
Okay, you want us to repeat it again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it was Richard that took us through, and Richard said, we would put our feedback month here, and we will take our rating to value. And he said we should go to insert and then pick up a line chart. And he said the first one was okay. And it was done. And we said this is good. It gives us a visualization of the rating per month. And I said I would like to make an addition. So what I did was to first come to my month and go to grouping, to my field, and I decided that, sorry, I think it was a month before, right? Yes, this was the way his own was. And then I said it will be, I would like to I closed the, what happened? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we
Yeah,
can
we can
hear
hear
you.
you.
But my this thing went off, right? I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
we can hear you, but I can't see
Yes, it does.
your projection. But we can hear you.
Okay. I don't know what happened though. Technology. I hope it's back, right?
Yeah, it's back.
So sorry about that. So I said I was going to make that adjustment. That was number one, to make my grouping to bring out the dates. And then I now change the type. You know, when you have your graph, whether in pivot chart or normal graph, you right click and you can change the type of graph that is being displayed. So that was what I did. And I came here and I decided to go for line, but now I went with the one with the marker. So that was what I did. And then I said, this is the amendment I will make on Richard's submission. So that was that for that question. So let's go back, let's go to the next question. To easily filter the ratings by month using an interactive element, what should you add to the pivot table? Now, there is what they call slicer. Slicer is a feature that you use to make your dashboard interactive. And so let's use this to illustrate that. I'm sure we'll still have time in our subsequent days to discuss this. So I'm going to bring in our rating by month so that to easily filter the ratings by month. So let's see which I want to see how the other things that we could add is only ratings. So for now, let's just use, this is not very, very exciting, but we can use it to start our introduction to slicers. So when you come to pivot table analyze, you hover over towards your left where you see filter. So this filter, there are two key things that help you to interact with your, to make your visualizations interactive. First of all, we'll look at the slicer here. So when you click this slicer, it's going to open up all these are based on the fields that you have on your pivot table. So let's see what we can, let's see how this thing works one by one. Let's say feedback, and let's use this two. We okay this. So here, let's go ahead and insert our line chart the way we did before. Let's use this. Now, if I come here, I want to click Alice. Alice rated in May, specifically on 5th of May. Look at it here. Bob Johnson on 25th. So these ones, they only did once. So that's why I say it's not very, it's not exciting. We doesn't have the data that will make it more exciting for you to see the interaction. So let's leave everything here. Let's say this again, you see, is just 1, 1. So if assuming we have a good number, okay, now I think, let's see, let me delete all this. We have 3 minutes more. Let's see what we can do. Remember, in this data, I think we have a good, we have big data, big, large chunk of data here. So let's use slicer here. Think here to make it a bit interesting. So let's put over here this clothing, this one here. So let's put our visualization. Do we have month here? What do we have? Okay, let's just use anyone. Let's use this. Good. So this is the visualization that we are going to be looking at. But then we are going to bring in our slicer. Let's filter by, this is our slicer. Let's filter by region. Good. Let's filter by region. Now, this is east. This is north. This is south. This is west. Now, there's something I want to do right now. Remember, we created this chart out of this, out of which one? Out of this one, I believe. And let me see the other thing that we have there: region, sales amount, product category. Okay, so let's see, assuming that we have this other one here. Assuming that we have this one here, we are going to create another visual here. I'm going to insert this, and okay, let's have this. If they have any relationship, we should be able to see that. I'm going to connect them. I'm going to connect these two so that as I am doing this same connection here will be controlling these two. Okay. Sorry, we have this time, and we'll still discuss this tomorrow. So I'm clicking on this and going to connection here. I'm connecting it with this. So if I am doing this, the two of them are showing you the same data. I mean, data for the same element that you are filtering on. I'm filtering on this. And so if I click here, this is East, displaying clothing and food. Here is the same East that is displaying clothing and food. Now, assuming, what else can we use here? Let's put date. Sorry. Let's put date. Okay, let's go to our slicer and put date. Let's say date now. So it's dates now that I want us to look at this. So let me remove this filter here. And then let me be using this. I need to connect this also. So this thing that you create, you connect them. So I'm connecting these two charts to this particular one now. And so as I am changing this, two of them are changing. By the time we'll go to dashboard, creation of dashboard, then we'll be able to see how exciting this interactive feature is. trying to put them. Okay, so as we are doing this, okay, we may not also not really enjoy it very well because this is West, electronics, food is in the north on this date. So on this date, food also on the north on 2nd of January, north sold clothing. On 2nd of May, we have north and west creating food, or rather selling food. Then October, so this is just what filter helps you to do. You can connect the entire screen, as we see here, can be filled with different charts. And then just by clicking dates, all the components will be changing. I will be showing you the characteristics of each one. All right, so this is 3 minutes past our time. I think we'll stop here. We'll request us to look at, we are done with just the last question, right? How can you ensure that average? Please answer the last question for customer feedback and then delve into project management. I desire that we will come tomorrow, and if I ask how many have attempted the project management, I want to just see done to make the class exciting. So with this, we have come to the end of today's session. Thank you. If there are questions that we can respond to before closing, please let's have them. Otherwise, we are done for today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Oh, that's lovely. So we can have a very wonderful time tomorrow, even as you sleep. Have a wonderful and refreshing night. Even your hand is up, is that bye-bye or you have a question? Hello, if your hand is up, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah,